What's up, everybody? We'll see if this is going live. So, if you're watching this now from the future, well, bear in mind that, I'm getting things figured out here. So, great situation. YouTube. I guess I don't think I am yet. Oh, is this it? Okay, well, some reason OBS is not. This is what I thought was going to be the problem. Okay. Okay, well, some reason. um, let's see if this works. Full screen this. Exit full screen. Alright, everyone, we're almost there in a few seconds. We're going to be able to rock it. I think I finally got it taken care of. Alright, in 3. Let me just make sure this works, and then if it works, this is great. Oh, there we go. All right, let's go. All right, man. So, hey everyone, Ellie Alchemist here. Besides first minute there, it doesn't really matter. Now we're hopping into it here, and I have Kiefer here with me, who has been in multiple different live chats and been on his own quest of just finding out what's going on here and searching for truth too. I'm so honored, honestly, to have you on here and just be able to let you pick at my brain. And, I'll do my best to answer every question. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask it in the chat. I did want to start off by just, have you ever worked with any shamanic path, like with any great spirit of any sort like that, or
Not yet. I want to.
want to? Yeah, I see you got the master. Is that the master key
Yeah.
pivot right there? Oh man, so I every time I've ever started doing any path working like with a great spirit of something, I've always just visualized that spirit and then drew that the master key out there and just use that as the gateway and to connecting with them. And I always just use my imagination because that's just how it's always been for me. I roll around in my driveway for hours on end and make up like corny little like fantasies going on in my head. Not the dirty fantasies, but just like the fantasies of just like magical lands and such. And then later on in my life, I found out I could connect. But yeah, I called out to the Totem, and I even went out to Tennessee. And I climbed on top of this mountain, and I yelled out, "I call out to my hawk totem!" And from that, I actually was able to have a greater insight. Like with the different animals I've worked with, they've each taught me something, and that one made me had a bigger like from 2 months ago when I called upon it till now. I have financial advisors. I have my investing for my future retirement. I wanted to quit my job, and then I worked with it, and I found out it was like because I'm trying to balance a few things at once. Like obviously, it'd be great to make podcasts and music and be ridiculous all the time and get paid with that, but the transition with the job and all that. So it helped me have a bigger sight with that, and I have now bigger projects in the run. I'm making what's an announcement. I'm working on a kids show, and I just think that'd be the greatest reach and helping the youth because with all the music industry and everything that goes on in the
Yeah.
media and all that, man, it's all a bunch of trash. And if the kids see the truth and they have some enthusiasm seeing the truth, well then that's a door unlocked right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it was a very great working and to see the higher perspective of things, and I kept seeing them fly like through like in front of my car every time I was like doing my job. They would always fly around, and I'll probably conclude that working after I do this Spartan coming up next month. Do you know about the Spartans? Those running races.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, those. I got one in a month, and after I'm done doing that, I'm gonna start my path working with Hercules before I do the top tier one, and then I'll say goodbye to the Hawk. So I just always like to make it as corny as possible. If we can
I like
get, if we can get a cornfield coming up in Indiana, then we're on the right track.
that.
But But how long have you been interested in just like magic and searching for answers and stuff?
My grandmother actually was clairvoyant, and I've been through everything with that. So,
Oh
you
wow.
name it, I've seen it, I've done it. So,
Oh really? So have you like did you see poltergeist activity or see like spirits appear and such or?
yeah, when I was 15, we used to have shadow people in our house, and all kinds of weird crap. So, Union soldiers, all kinds of stuff in my house.
Oh my gosh, did that scare you at all, or was it like?
No, it didn't actually. It didn't scare me. That's why I kind of like it.
Oh wow! Actually, last night I've not had any problems with like sleep, but last night at like 3:30 in the morning, I woke up kicking, and I looked up and it was like this orange cloud, and kind of like this clown face, and it wasn't like a fear induced, but it was also kind of like what the hell is going on? Like I just woke up here, and I ended up doing a banishing and such. But then I was thinking like why that happened, but I know if that happened to me like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd be like, what the hell is that? You know? And so I guess it does take a special type of person, honestly, to be like, that's really weird, but that's
Well,
all
see,
right.
my mom used to see things too, so our whole family sees things.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
normal for us. I mean, my mom used to see faces on the wall, all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it was always openly talked with your
Yeah.
family about that.
We were Southern Baptist, so it was hush hush, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's really trippy. Are they, is your family still around?
No, I'm the last one left actually.
Oh, wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's, whew.
It
I
didn't scare me back then. I don't know why.
Man, so is it only increased stuff that you see, or like when like you're working with the master key, like are you able to get some like really good like results in like seeing things around you, or yeah, how does that work? Like if you already have the ability to see things, is like working with spirits and everything else pretty easy for you? Like you know when they're
No,
there.
I can't do that. It's weird. I can see things and I can experience things, but I can't connect that way. I mean, invocation is hard for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's some kind of block there, and I've talked to what Mr. Garrett about
Yeah,
it.
J.S. Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a sigil for blockage the other night, so I'm gonna try that and see how that works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Their new unblocking sigil that
Yeah.
his buddy
Did you
came
see
up with.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm always with my job I'm driving all the time, and so like I feel like really blessed because I can just listen to my favorite people and I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's great. That lines up, but like I haven't done that one yet. I do know the first time I ever drew this up though, and then I burned it. I felt the air itself just like energized, just like boom, and
Yeah.
it just showed like how real it was, and it's like the first thing to start giving me a lot more manifestations, without a doubt. Like I've always with magic. I mean, I used to work. I've been a demonologist for 10 years, but I didn't start working with like demons and stuff till about probably 4 years ago. Uh, and it's only gotten better with my psychic ability because, like, with connection with them, because I just kind of go halfway there and then I let them fill in the gap with all the like surroundings and everything else. And that's how I typically go about it. I don't really see anything in smoke. Black mirrors, I really haven't used that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just black mirrors in general, just I don't know, maybe I should give it a try. But, I would rather
Yeah.
be in black light. I actually had to redo my website. It's black light alchemy now. So I'm like, I guess the black light's the way I'm going to be doing it now.
Yeah, it looks nice though, but I just feel like everybody's got their own little niche, and like maybe a black mirror won't work for you. Maybe it will work for somebody else. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think it works for everybody.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. The clairvoyant and all that stuff. Like, I do see the flashes and stuff, but I don't see, like, spirits like going around like what type of things did you see like when you say you're able to see like if you went to a graveyard would you actually see like entities standing up in the graveyard or
And I'm afraid they're coming home with me. That's why I don't go to places like that. I'm really scared of it.
Hey, that's a smart choice, dude. This
My
one.
aunt went to a graveyard and picked one up, and when she went home, she had a hard time getting rid of it, and that scared me when I was a little kid. So
Oh my gosh, man.
yeah,
Yeah. That's something I've this one girl told me, this is like 3 years ago. She's like, "Hey, let's go drop LSD and go hang out in the graveyard." I was like, "I don't know if you like know what's going on with that, but like nah, I'm cool on that." You know, the only time I go to any graveyard is to, see a family member and do like an honoring and a Thanksgiving with them, but without that, yeah, stay, I'm staying clear. And I don't really work with necromancy either. I'm not.
me, that's just something wrong about that. I don't like that.
There's certain like in packs. That's something else. I don't do packs just because now I know some people have, and it works out great for them, and that's awesome. Myself personally, just as an individual, I don't like ever feeling like I'm stuck in anything. Like I
Yeah,
always kind of like to be free, so I'll just keep working with something. But I know a pack's pretty heavy, let alone getting a sigil tatted on you. Like that's also really heavy. I'm like,
yeah, you have to be
shit.
committed to that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. There's not even a spirit I'm like that committed to doing anything like that with. Like I'm like, yeah, they're my friends. Like I call them friends and acquaintances, Like, but I'm not like my symbol actually on the back of my shirt here. I don't know if you can the eyeball, but that thing that goes down, that's actually Salos's symbol. In it now, there's like some Norse stuff going on in it, some anime stuff going on in it. The three pillars where you need to be mentally, physically, and spiritually like strong to keep your pillars up.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let's just make this as metaphysical and corny as I possibly can. So I'll be like, yeah, it's really cool, everyone.
So, what is the weirdest thing you've experienced?
Whew. Now,
I mean, that scared you.
okay. I'll answer that in two different ways. The
Okay.
scariest thing I had experienced was back when I was 19, just getting into the occult to a deeper level. I was a hardcore Catholic, but I was really into magic because I was like, what the hell is this? Like, if exorcisms are real, the magic's real, and I was like, all right, well, how can I use this? But like, I was kind of living like a double life. And the thing that I find with Christianity is it makes a lot of like self hatred, by saying like you're a sinner, this, that, and the other. And so I eventually got really mad at that path I was on. So I ended up basically banishing all my spiritual guides, everything around me, saying I'm walking alone. And I started getting really depressed, and I kept feeling like this thing was watching me at night. So I'd have to keep lights on, and I would never be able to see it, but I knew something was going on. And my friend who I was hanging out with all the time kept saying he kept seeing this little girl, like really scary little girl around him. And I was like, okay, something weird's going on. And then I one night at 3 a.m. I just like I couldn't stop feeling like I was being watched. I turned over to my bed, and I see this 4 foot tall girl in a white gown and black covering her eyes standing next to my bed, and it was absolutely crazy. Like seeing that, I was frozen with fear. And then I went on the other side and I waited till the sun was up. And then I didn't know who to talk to about it. And I eventually met my friend's wife, and she was a clairvoyant. So we're going on a walk, and she ends up saying, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's something on you. And I was like, what is it? And then she told me it was the girl. And that was like the first synchronicity to ever show like what I thought was going on spiritually actually was. And it was someone else outside of myself was able to verify it without me saying anything. So that definitely was the scariest thing, and I had to like write down all the things I forgave myself for and love myself, and then I wanted my guides back, and then I burned the piece of paper, and that's all it took to get rid of it. And that was horrifying. Now, cool. I would say the craziest thing I've been able to see is the effects of magic in the sense of synchronistic thing. Like, I have been searching for. I mean, for this show, I'll tell you. I've been searching for kind of the right thing because I make the music, I do the podcast, I do those things, but like nothing's really taken off as much as I wish it would, and it's all about putting in that work. But I was started working with Santa Lock, and he's an amazing spirit to work with. I mean, it's like literally meeting up with a man, like a being in a business suit, and like and then like making the situation. There's not much he says, and when he says something, you're like, okay, oh man. And I was working with him and looking for like the great new idea, and then I was just thinking about, like, I was always told you should work with kids, and because like when I'm around kids and stuff, I love telling them about wisdom and self empowerment and loving yourself and realizing everything you do has a cause and effect. And so I was like, man, a kids show. And then one of my the guy who I work with making the show, he's like, yeah, man, we should definitely make a kids show. And then he called it The Captain and the Moon. And I was like, dude, that's incredible. And then his best friend, 1 week later, sent him in the mail this mask. And it had a moon on the mouth of it. And that next week, too, my best friend had sent me this game. And the main character was a moon-faced man inside of a suit, like the show we were talking about. Yeah. And, like, that right there was so synchronistic that, it just feels so right and divine. And it's like those type of small things that you see and happen, those are things that just take you to the next level because the spiritual's real all around us. And, I mean, that kind of makes every single day really deep. So when you feel like it's mundane and such, you're like, wait a second. If I put on my spiritual vision, I'd realize there's a lot of stuff going on out there. What about you? What was the craziest thing you've ever witnessed?
I don't know what you call it. It's like a torso, full apparition torso talking to me, meant telepathy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I woke up at 3 a.m. I looked on the side of my bed because I have a clock and I can see the room through the clock, light. And it was right there in the floor, halfway up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And very demonic looking. I could feel its breath. I could feel it breathing, and it wanted to talk to me, and I said no. So that was scary.
I bet that was scary, and that was in your room too, like.
Yeah, but he took me out of linear time. Yeah, we talked out of linear time when he was there. So we talked for like 5 minutes, but it was like a second when I woke up, and I knew that I was out of linear time.
Man,
that was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that sounds weird. That whole entire idea sounds crazy, man.
I'm just wondering what would happen if I had said yes,
ain't that the story though, man? Like, when do we roll the dice and go in, and when do we say, I don't know if I'm gonna go play that game? I always.
So how do I know that if I hadn't said yes, he would have possessed me or something?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, that's also something too. I can channel like what they're saying and then speak it, but I've never done like a full on possession, and I don't know. I'm not appetized by it, and I'm not appetized by it if it was just me by myself. Like, maybe if another practitioner who is like, and like it needed to be done, like like a movie scene situation, or it's like, all right, I need this answer. Only one spirit knows. Like, find this answer no matter what, John Constantine. And something to go along that line, but I don't know. I don't feel the urge for that or PAX, and maybe that's just right now in life, but I'm not too sure. Now, no,
I don't really understand the pack thing. What is a pack thing actually?
So
you're to that spirit.
It's basically like you can make it a year long, you can make it a lifetime long, which lots of people do lifetime long, where they could be like with the spirit like once a week they'll blood their sigil and then burn it or give this particular offering, and just doing it on a consistent regular basis. It's kind of like working with oh my gosh, gosh, what is that system called? I feel like such a goofball. It's not Voodoo. It's with. Oh man, but it's not Jen, and it's. I mean, maybe it is Voodoo where you work with the. Gosh dang it, I forget what they're called, but like you have to keep
Yeah.
consistently putting something down, and that's like. I don't know. I don't really like that either. I would just rather work out a deal,
Yeah.
work out something between me and that being, and then from there, let it go. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it, man. And I don't like to disrespect anything, too. Like, I've always come at the angle of, like, standing my ground. Like, I know I'm a divine being, and, like, everyone's truly a divine being. But, like, knowing that and then expressing that, not being afraid to stand up for yourself, but also not being, like, a jackass saying, hey, I'm summoning you up here, go do this and go get lost. I'm like, nah, I'm not about that. There's absolutely no way I'm about that. But I don't know
If
what
I
the,
was going to start and I was going to work with one, you got any suggestions?
can you say that again?
If I was going to start working with one, like in a pack situation, got any ideas of who I might be able to work with that I might like?
Honestly, it just comes down to what your goal is oriented towards. Like if it's about wealth or if it's about self love. Like it really just depends on what you're going after. Like I'm working with in the Simon Necronomicon, which that is something you should definitely look at. It's got amazing. Oh my, this dude's already got it right here, dude. Lugala Be de Burr, he's like number 36, I think, in there.
Yeah.
I've been working with him for like the past like 3.5 months. Like that's been that and the animal totems. That's like really the only things right at this moment. And then the master key on the occasion. Now I wear it all the time because I love it so much, and like I love Shimyaza. He's done so much to help me just grow as a conscious being. But yeah, the Simon Necronomicon's got some amazing ones, and I'm working with this one that helps me become a sharper individual and like
Yeah, I saw that.
better on top of things. And man, I'm telling you, like I've changed the past 4 months. Like I have cut out more BS. I know what I'm going after. I know myself, all that. So like that for me has been amazing. And like Astarte, as like JS and Barbie always talk about, like she's great for self love. Like actually having self love, and I know that especially in this community, lots of people get involved with it because there's some problem in the past and they don't have that self love or in that fulfillment. So,
Yes.
so she's incredible too. Like I worked with her in the form of Astaroth way years ago to help open up my third eye, and then I worked with her to help me out some more in the Astarte form. And her and Bune both have made it so like my psychic vision when my eyes shut and I say their name, I get literally warped to where they want to be. And so if you're like working for like a vision thing like that, Shimyaza and Astarte, and if you're just trying to, Belial is like
It scares me in a way.
yeah, I was terrified to work with him. It took me like to the last second to like I worked with all these other spirits and I was like, fine, I have to go to him because I'm not getting this thing resolved. And I went to him and the complete thing just burned to shit. And I like literally was like drained to the being of being like feeling selfless, like just worthless. He
Yeah.
literally hit me to the worthless mode. But then it made me be like, all right, well then who am I? And like redefine myself. So like he's good for smashing your entire being, but then it does help the ashes of building something up new. And so yeah, like what is it right now? Like, so is there anything right now you're working with, or do you just?
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, when I was a child and growing up when I was younger, I mean, I was limitless, and then I cut it off. So for me to cut it back on again, it's really difficult for me because um, I had something after me when I was 16 or 17. It would get me when I was sleeping and all kinds of stuff. So I kind of like cut myself off from everything. And I'm finding it really hard to get myself back to where I was, and nothing works. Nothing.
Uh,
I've tried everything.
since
You know,
that
I
since,
see things, but my psychic connection, my third eye, all that stuff is just non-existent anymore.
Do you think it's because of something that's been kind of attached to you, maybe, possibly?
Well, this thing used to torment me, and it's like it scared me to death. And it's like, I mean, I just shut myself down.
Mm.
And I think I put a block on myself somewhere subconsciously.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, and I can't find it, and I can't resolve it because I don't know what it actually is.
That definitely, like with the shimyaza and that unblocking, I think you're right on the exact path
Yeah,
doing that. Because I think if you do something like that, and even tapping in with Azure Ludu, because I would, with the angels like Michael and Raphael, like I've always loved them, and I'd have them, ask for them to help cleanse an area, and then sometimes I've done it with Lucifer
yeah,
and as such, but Azure Ludu, there's something like I'm not even gonna say his, the three syllable bam bam bam, to be able to clear out the area, but that right there, like I doing that, you feel the air and everything change around you. So maybe
yeah,
even a blocking removal and then an exorcism of your area that you're living in, just like for that, and then to call all your guides to you. It might, not only do you have a new like refreshing restart, but then that blockage goes, and like that's a
yeah.
huge thing, man. That would be awesome. Are you planning on doing that in like a couple weeks?
I, tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
nice.
It's done. It's got to be done.
That's awesome, man. I
Yeah.
I hope that opens up so much for you. Like,
And I haven't really worked with a master key either. I mean, I've gotten it and I wear it, but I don't work with it. And I need to start doing that.
yeah, dude, it's literally exactly what it's called, the master key. Like for every single project, like it's helped me get my job, get basically triple the amount of pay I was getting. It helped me keep my job. It helped me, um, honestly, it helped communication with this old relationship I had. Like I needed them to get back to me. It wasn't really a relationship, but whatever. And then like I was like let them like get a hold of me, and I drew out the sigil, put the intent in it, and then burned it, and then right then my phone went off and they called. So it's pretty ridiculous. And I don't know if you saw my one video, but you can even use it as a gateway to another spirit. So let's say you wanted to work with Astarte or anyone, doesn't matter that. You could draw out that sigil and then just put your intent into it. You can add blood to it or not. I know some people are cool with blood, other people are not. I used to do it a lot. Like it was kind of getting out of control. I was like, dude, you're just like, oh, here we go. Like I need to be more sacred with it. But I was like, anything to get me answers. But you
Yeah.
can put that on there and then have that master key be like an energy ball. So when you burn it and you call forth the other spirit, they can use that energy to manifest things. And so I was doing that for a while too, where I would call forth a spirit and make like that energy ball with the master key and then shoot it towards something. But yeah, I think no, you're right on the right path. Like it's about getting rid of those blockages, and
Yeah.
then also making sure like once the blockage is removed, then once stuff's around you, just making sure you have your guard up. Now I know some
Yeah.
people say Pali Santos don't do shit. I think it does amazing shit. I love it so much. Like I'm just like, burn this shit 24/7. But do you have the fifth seal? I have this in my room. The fifth pinnacle of Mars.
No, I don't have that, but I want it.
Definitely, and I can always message you it. But if you draw that too, once you get unblocked, and then you just have that in your room, it's gonna definitely halt any negative things coming in. Now it's not gonna stop everything, but it's definitely gonna do a lot to like bust that down like that. And plus, you have the Simon Necronomicon, like Azure
Yeah.
Ludo. Both those things right there, like you have a toolbox to be able to unlock anything.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything like you're trying to go for with any workings, or are you just trying to get the blockage out?
Well, um, I'm a little older than you, so I'm pretty much where I want to be in
Okay.
life.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to the wealth. I mean, the job. I'm not looking for any of that kind of thing. I'm just self improvement. Really, I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get back into improving myself because been a lot of years that I haven't, and then I started questioning my religious stuff, and that really messed me up. So you know how that goes.
Yeah, that one took me a very long time. You know what really helped me out through that whole entire thing is the working with like reading back in the ancient tablets, like of Samaria, and how it looks like every 12,000 years, humans go through this cycle where the planet like is going through a cycle of like, all right, here comes the next
Yeah,
destruction of the planet and such. And a lot of these ancient runes around the world also have underground cities, and if the old like the Amnush Galish, um, but all these old tablets that talk about what happened beforehand, before the Christianity and stuff, and like how it kind of shows that there was like these aliens and then they created us, and like the Inky and Enlil story, and then like how I mean even Christianity, Cain and Abel. Well, if Cain killed Abel, then who did Cain have kids with? Like, there's a lot of holes in the story, and then a lot of like, have you heard of the eagle versus the serpent?
yeah,
Uh,
I heard something about that. Yeah,
yeah, how like inside of the our entire cultures, it's like either they have an eagle, and that's
yeah,
like the war god, that's like like America and
yeah.
the destruction, and you have the serpent one, which is about like that kind of Eastern philosophy of the energy arts, that you're a divine being. And I ended up just, seeing Lucifer as Inky, and by seeing Lucifer as Inky, it kind of just made my mind be like, I'm more open to it, because I had a very rough time, especially expressing that to anyone around me, that like I have these questions, and they're like, don't ever question things about faith. Like I was kicked out of multiple church groups because I would ask those questions, like, who made the pyramids? Like, if the king, the Great Hall of the Kings is 300 miles away where the pharaohs are actually buried at, and you guys call this the Great Chamber, you call it this, that, and the other, like, there's a lot not lining up here. And where it's located and where it'd be about 13,000 years ago is pointed to the Sirius constellation. And everything is so like aligned with the lighting inside the king and all the other chambers. And it's like, was this an energy source? Like, I'm just like, I'm obsessed with the ancient history, because I feel like so much is hidden. And for how this political system is and how dividing everything is anymore. And if you're not a conservative, or if you're not a liberal, or what do you think about the vax, what do you think about this, that, and the other? And like, I feel like religion's the same thing. There's so much division that occurs because of all that, and that's why I feel like chasing after the knowledge and isn't there can't be anything evil at it. Like, if my internal self, my spirit is happy and okay with everything that's going on, then whether there's a judgment or not, if there's a judgment, I'm not gonna care. I'll be like, okay, I did everything I wanted to. Like, there's so many like clouded answers out there, and now I'm just been searching for what I can and help make a change. So we're not just sheep being led to the slaughter.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing for me. It was changing that from like guilt to guilt free, and now I'm kind of like, screw it. I'm a libertarian anarchist, and and believe what you want. Like, if you're not killing each other, like, I'm seeing more Christians and Islam killing more people than
It's great.
Buddhists. I know. Do you do any forms of meditation?
Yeah, I do actually. I do about 15 minutes every day.
Okay. Is it just you just sit there, or is there anything in particular you do?
It's mainly to quiet myself down and just shut down for a little bit. I get a candle and I look at this candle and I kind of like go into meditation for 15 minutes every day, and that kind of calms me down, and I like that.
Yeah.
Not guided or anything. It's just what I'm saying, medication.
Yeah, letting go your mind. Well, I mean, in all honesty, the what is meditation? It's the art of doing nothing.
Yeah, just
Because
quiet the mind, right? So that's what I do.
yeah, exactly. And I've been doing it in the morning the past year and a half. and that's really changed the how my day is. I used to wake up and then just run out the door, and I just felt like I was never calm, and I'd be irrational and like worried about this, that, and the other. And now it's like, all right, well, I have my shit together. I can talk to someone, and if I drink some coffee, I'm not going to be too off the chain. I mean, I'm still going to be ridiculous, but not as ridiculous. uh,
The religion again. It's like my whole thing was like, if God's gonna create us and give us free will and freedom of choice, it's kind of a setup if you think about it. Because we're not supposed to sin, but it's almost guaranteed you're going to sin. You ever thought about that?
yeah, how it's almost like, hey guys, you have your free
You can't
choice.
get into heaven because you're a sinner, and we set you up to be a sinner. So here's reincarnation.
Yeah,
Good
well,
luck.
yeah, here's reincarnation. Good luck, and it kind of feels like a game. I actually watched Constantine recently, and one of the things they were saying is like how it's a game, like who can get more souls, who can do this, and like the way when I see it as a game, that's what makes me so angry too. Like as above, so below. Like our money system, where the whole all the media, 90% of the media is owned by six corporations. Like there's definitely stories and programming without a doubt being pushed. Like, and what is truth? What about the knowledge inside of all of our textbooks? What happens if not everyone, what happens if you think outside of the box in any way? Like, the idea of evolution is this. I think that's the most ridiculous thing. Like that, this is all by accident. Like all the synchronicity or there's this, that, and the other. It really is mind boggling. Like, then where's the half monkey, half human now? Like something had been put into the code, and there's just too much hypocrisy with the church. Like that's what I like. Like I was saying before, like there was so much self hatred. Like how can an omnipresent, all knowing God of the Old Testament, who sends people off to kill other people and conquer them, also be the same all loving God and care about you, and then
It doesn't
also
make sense. It doesn't
also
make sense.
yeah, exactly, and then make a flood and then want to destroy all humanity. It just seems kind of like a bipolar being, and that's why it's just the whole system, the whole game seems really fucked, and it took a long time for me to like look down that path and accept that. And I don't know, it is a game, and at the end of the day, that's why I'm all about this like self empowerment and finding out the next greatest thing with whether it's magic or ways for me to unlock abilities of myself, because I'd rather ascend to its maximum degree than like just be like, no, it's okay. Jesus died for me, so that's it. And guess what, guys? The storybook's over, and there's gonna be parts where I have to self hate myself if I don't do things perfectly. Like that just sounds too box. There's too much pressure in that box, and that's why I think lots of the priests become pedophiles because they're not allowed to have their sexual urge at all, and then eventually it becomes inverted.
So, what do you think about reincarnation?
I definitely, I think you can, but some people do get recycled, and I think it comes down to gr- how not grounded, but how solidified you are as your spirit. So like when I'm to pass away, well, I remember like, oh, this is late. This is El the Alchemist, or is this like who is this, or am I just going to follow whatever being it is to this light to then be recycled? To then have that energy come back, and then I'm just like a completely different being with no recollection. But I
Yeah.
do feel like you can solidify who you are, or at least some parts of who you are, and like staying within your family tree, which is why I think the family tree is so special. Because like there's different incarnations of maybe like that's what your soul family is like there's really like only 8 spirits, but it seems to like go through like the whole entire family tree, which
Yeah.
there's that. So I've had a past life regression. I went to uh, about 4 years ago, and I had this very vivid flashback where I was in the 70s at a party in high school, and then like we got in a car wreck, and like that was the end of it. And I've had people work on me, like JD worked on me, and he could see me in the colonial days, like working as a kind of like a pirate in a sense, like getting shipments of stuff place to place to place. And it was funny because before him and I had that call, my job, I've been like I was telling people I'm a pirate. I'm just getting my gold. I just deliver stuff place to place to place. And the people who I knew and I worked with, it felt like I knew them from before on a really deep level. So I I believe it is going on. I truly do. Now, I believe that there's a form of judgment that you can go to, but I just I'm not sure how it all works. Like I don't know if it's like if I'm like a jackass, I'm gonna be a chipmunk that I can barely find any nuts. You know what I mean for the next few months, but
Well, I kind of look at it like if we're awake now and we know more than what normal people do, then we are probably more involved than a lot of people around us.
oh,
You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
So when we pass on, we're going to have a lot more advantage.
Yeah, well, actually, know a little bit of what's going on. Like because like if you're working with this being and that being, and when you work with like your ancestors of the past, I feel like once you do cross over there, and I'm gonna either go do ayahuasca or this toad, and I want to be able to see that other realm there. But I feel like you'll just be able to bridge that gap and to make, oh, there's that spirit, there's that. Like now, when I work with spirits, I get that psychic vision, and then I get the feeling inside of here, like when I'm talking to them. And so I feel like it's just gonna be like that on the other side. And I don't feel like there's a hell or anything like that. Now, if your spirit wants to go to a hell, I think it will, and it won't be there forever. But I think it will be like a. I think that's what they would call purgatory, is the
Yeah.
cleansing of your spirit, of your past, and all that. So that I do think is a possibility.
Yeah. Well, EA did a podcast or a video. He was talking about that. If you die and you think you're going to hell, that's what you're going to experience. Because that's your last thought before you cross over. If you don't believe you're going there and you have something else in mind after you die, that's what you're going to experience. I
Yeah.
mean, and it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like Christian people are going to be fearing they're going to hell. So they're probably going to go to hell
Yeah.
because they're afraid of that, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I'm going to hell, not the religious hell.
Yeah.
I think this is hell, actually.
I think it's both realms at once. I think this is heaven and hell. I think it all takes place within you. Like,
Yeah.
what's really going on? And I know that, like, for myself, I went through depression for so long, and then I got out of it, and now everything's like, it's really incredible. Like, and I see like how amazing everything is. It really is, and there is that divine balance. Like, there's definitely an energy over this planet, this universe that likes to keep things in balance, and that's what I think karma is. Like, for this to happen, this is to happen, and there's always this divine energy balance. But putting guilt on yourself or something like that can push something
Yeah.
bad to happen, or like, and someone's having a bad day, and like, they stub their foot and they're like, oh, what next? And then like they bump their arm, they're like, oh, what next? And like that circular pattern keeps going now. Like, I think that's definitely a huge part of it too. Like, this reality is definitely more programmable than I think what we even want to think it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's very tripped out, and like even like recognizing the people you live with or the people who you're around, like when you understand on the basic level, like if we're all atoms, we're all vibrating at constant rate. So if my vibration is next to another vibration for a long time, well then our vibrations are going to be colliding and bouncing back and forth with each other. So that means I'm going to have a little bit more of them with it, this, that, and the other. And so I'm like, damn, like things are really deep. And when people don't, have communication like with their significant other or not addressing issues that are actually going on, that does make a form of cancer or illness, like because it's building up on the inside and then it just externalizes. And that's why I feel like full communication, full like love, self-empowerment and not having that guilt, because like I said, I had that guilt for way too long. And even working with the master key the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be intense. But because some with the Sumerians, the Watchers are all, like, great. Like, they've helped us unlock things within ourselves to break away from the slave thing that was a part of their other system, and it makes them a hero. Whereas they say fallen angel is these bad guys, and oh, they're not good. They're not going to teach you these things, and have fear with them. And so then that's why my perspective is like, I'm just gonna work with them, see what happens, and it's only been great, And like something else, like when you work with that, it's like you don't even have to work with one. Like you can get the Book of Azazel, and that has like a lot of the spirits that are the Watchers inside of it too. So you can kind of get a name for it. But even if you don't have names, it can do anything. So it's just like working with the key itself. It works with their current, and it's like so quick. I'm not gonna call it microwave, but it's like a microwave, like with like before and after things, man. And I'm really interested to hearing how your unblocking thing goes. I know that they said that you feel some internal fire going on when you do that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it all at one time. You're supposed to pick like one area and work on unblocking that, because just to unblock yourself is too much at one time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're unblocking, really.
That's true too. And you don't want to be like, all right, unblock it all. And then like you shut your eyes, open it, and you just see like a billion spirits everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you got like grass spirits, you got Goetia, you got angels, and they're just like all like crammed in this box. Like, hey man, we've been waiting for you to get undone this whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna start working with it, see how it goes. And like I said, I got the Necronomicon. I just started reading it, so I'm still reading that right now.
Yeah, that's great. I read through all the spirits once, and I just started reading through it again. I'm gonna keep doing my. I've just kept the sigil open, and I just like I either do like add some incense or blood or something to it every once a month and just give thanks. But like I even feel like I have not Venom, like everything from Venom, the movie or anything, but like how something can like almost like a shell could come up and become a shield, or like it could shoot out like just like black spears. And by working with this spirit, and like that from this past month, I've been feeling that now, because he's like one for great attacking and defending, and then becoming a sharper individual towards your goals. And that's why I started working with him. But there's so many in that book that are like absolutely amazing. But I was too big. Like for a while, I was doing like a spirit one a month, and it just kind of felt like, I'm just kind of like, all right, 1 month, here we go. Yeah. And yeah, and it became an overlap of stuff. Like I'm just mind blown on like the transformations that happen. That's why it to me seems so real and so on point. Like there's just so much with it, man. Like it's not just subconscious, but it is subconscious. But there's also an external force that goes on, and it also makes you feel empowered to like never have to live in fear, because like no matter your circumstance with the job or finance or whatever, like you can always do something about it. And I just felt like with Christianity, I was too busy sitting there praying something would happen. Now I feel like I can take hold of my life and do something with it. And
yeah, it's very controlling, very controlling.
Mm-hmm. And
self-hate, I have enough of that my own. Thank
you. Yeah, I know.
Self-hate.
I know that one's always been, it was tough. Working out, I will say, was definitely my first step, because I had lots of I got the 240, and my face was always red, and I was smoking cigarettes, and at 21 I was on blood pressure medicine, and I was at the worst self-hate. And I started working out, and then Salos, I was asking his help with this girl, being like, hey, can you help this girl like me? He's like, well, you need to quit cigarettes, and then it will happen. I was like, okay, I'll totally do that. So I quit cigarettes. I'm getting in better shape. I'm feeling good. And then I'm like, all right, man, like, so when's it going to happen? Like, I'm getting angry about it. And like, he's kind of like, well, first you gotta love yourself, and then
Wow.
you're gonna realize like you don't even want that person in your life anyways. It's like, okay, man, like that's true. That's actually true love and appreciation. Like, and that's something else I want the world to know is like if these spirits actually just wanted your the shit for your life, just you to have a terrible life, like they would have given me a lot of things that I asked for, and it would have destroyed me as a person.
Yeah.
So many people. Because that was that's what really got me involved in magic right at the beginning was love spells. I was like, how can I have this person love me? Oh, here we go. It's not about loving myself. How about manipulating? And it's like, all those spirits, every single one I've ever asked to help, they would make me have to learn something about self love,
Yeah.
bettering myself, and then they'd always show me that person's dark side that like no one else sees and how it wouldn't work out in the end. And it's like that's literally growth. Like with Belial, him making it so it got help me out with this girl. Next moment, I'm in the office at my job, and they said, "Hey, if you ever say a word to this person again, you will be fired from here." And I was like, "Wow, wow, like okay there, buddy. I learned my lesson. Like, dude, get your shit together. Like, get your priorities straight." And so, like, that's a good ass kicking. But like, if they were bad, they would have made that person like me, and then I wouldn't have grown at all, and then I would have just wasted away doing that. And that's why I'm like, you know what? The people that talk shit, say this, that, and the other, like, go do it yourself. Go meet them halfway and like give it a chance. But then I also don't want to make people rush into things because there's people that don't like jumping off high dives. So there's people that don't like getting in the ocean. Not everything about spirituality is for everybody. Like that's
Yeah.
for damn sure. I actually did the rite of deification for somebody, and that was probably the no, that was the most intense working I've ever done my entire life, without a doubt. And it made me think about, finding out what the word kosher means, and take, what do I want to be a vegetarian? I don't want to, but it does make me because meat's really good.
Breathes good.
But it makes me just think about those things deeply, and I just think the path of spirituality is like if you get to learn about how this vessel works, that's like the first step of life. Then you move on with your life. All right, what goals are you going after? What's the next thing? Like physically, like making sure, and the nutrition. Like when you start eating really good, and I get water that's fluoride free, like and make it go through the osmosis, and it's really unlocked my pineal gland. Like it
Yeah.
really has, and like doing those type of things and staying in the routine and the meditation, and you just start getting this new perspective on life. And then it's like, wow, now I feel like everything's divine, and it makes me love life and enjoy it more. So then it makes everything else funner, like the meetings with the friends, the walking your dog, whatever it may be. Everything has a divinity to it, and that's really why I like magic so much, honestly.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't have anybody around me that's into magic. It's kind of hard to find someone.
Yeah,
We're online. And then they're like 2 states over, or 4 states over.
I know. I know. I mean, that's what's made the occult community. That at least the people I follow. Now I know some people have drama, some people have this, that, and the other. Save your drama for your llama because I'm hanging out with the Dalai Lama. Okay, never mind. But like I'm just all about like learning different things and being kind to everyone and just getting the downloads I can and being a good
Yeah.
influence and give that out. But that's a really cool community that we have here, without a doubt. And the amount of information to be able to learn from this person's experience and someone else to be able to, clarify, like, yeah, they've seen this crazy being and this being's been like that. And it's kind of like a ton of scientists finally coming out together, putting their notes together and being like, yeah, here we go, stamp of approval. Yeah. So, yeah, it's incredible, but it is hard to find people. I have some really close friends here in town that I can talk to about it, but it's not like I'm not gonna call it one sided because everyone has experiences of things, but like, I'm over here obsessed with it. And like every hour I can, if I'm not freestyling or listening to music, I'm listening to podcasts and other researchers and hearing their findings. And like that to me is like, I don't know how everyone is not doing that. Like I
Yeah.
actually don't get it, dude. I don't know how people just go to their job and then go home to sit in front of a black screen and then have their picket fence around their
Yeah.
house and just accept what's being told to them. It's just
That's all they want out of life. That's it. They're happy or supposedly happy.
yes, exactly. Supposedly happy. Now that I think the authentic joy does come once you find who you are in your life mission, and that more and more has come out for myself. Like now I understand. I love doing podcasts, talking to people about spiritual stuff to help people out. I want to make a kids show to be able to help out kids in that influence in grading the younger culture. And then I
Yeah.
like my music to just express my spirit and also get party started because I will totally get a party started. I'm all about it. Because hey, if you can get a deep conversation in at a party, you're good to go too, man. Like that's also a way to go about, having the conversations, but
Yeah.
I guess at least we
Do
have the
that?
internet.
How much do you do that?
Uh like music or what?
Yeah. Like how much of that do you do on a monthly basis? How do you work that? Your music career.
So I was trying to get something out like snap, snap, snap. But I've gotten to a point now, like where I basically have had 3 albums out, and I am all about not pushing it so hard because you want to make it a great time in the studio, so you get that quality. Then you have to get a really good picture or music video with it, and then a great master with it. Like people that are inside the big industry people, they have amazing master, the amazing studio quality, and then amazing graphics. And so instead of trying to get a shit ton out that was half-assed, it's been going a little bit slower than what I would like, especially because when I work a job where it's like 50 hours a week sometimes, and then I have to get myself to the gym, and there's life you have to deal with, like go to the grocery store and
Yeah.
then all that shit. Yeah, so I get as often as I can. I'm trying to get like one song a month. And then I would like to do one music video every 2 months. But like I said, like doing like a grand ritual, it takes the whole weekend, or like every weekend after I'm getting off of work, the next day I go for like 6 to 7 hours, and I do just writing up storyboarding for the show I'm doing. So like right now, that's kind of like the front of my thing because I feel so new,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to get 10 episodes, done with and prepared so I can launch it in like mid-September. So that's kind of been the big thing, but like music itself though, like without recording and all that, I freestyle every single day. I love it. Like I actually like with music, it's the way for me to express things and get it out of like if I'm like stressed about something, I'm just gonna put on a hard beat and I'm gonna go in and rap it, and then I just sometimes I even call a spirit forward if I'm like Bune. Oh, I'm thinking about Bune. Bune's so awesome. Bune's amazing. You know what? Duchess, please come here so I can give a freestyle about you my Thanksgiving. And like doing something like that, like that to me is like an offering in a sense, but it's to me it doesn't even feel like an offering because it's like I love doing it, but that Thanksgiving or even to the divine, like the other day I was just freestyling and thanks to like my day and how it was going, and then these freaking cheesy birds would come flying around, and I was like, okay, like the universe is talking back to me because it's got some birds chemistry going on here, so
You like funny ones. That's funny.
it's good.
That's
And like there's some music like I just released a song called "Best Out My Way," and it's really for black magicians because at the end I rap about a
yeah. I
Thanksgiving.
saw that.
Yeah, that one like is really awesome and like it goes hard. And then I have a one like "Clean the Planet" where it's like me hanging out like picking up trash on the ground, and then there's the Spartan one where it's me pushing and training. Like it's just kind of like any way of my authenticity I can get out there, all about it, but I also just don't want to push and rush. I at this point, um, I know I'm young and I know I got a lot of life ahead of me, and so if in 5 years is when everything takes off, awesome. If it's this is just a part of my spiritual journey and helping me grow, awesome. I'm just thankful that I've been involved in learning about the spiritual nature of things because, like as you know, like once you have divinity in here and you have to take care of an aura outside of yourself and you learn those different like the sacred things about who you are. It's a great starting point. And now I'm like really happy because I'm like, well, as I go forward and I'm working with spirits, like I also feel even more divinely protected because it's not just about me. It's about the younger generation. It's about the planet. It's about unlocking the truth. And I feel like that has the divinity behind me to push forward. And it's not to say I'm not gonna do a cleansing here and there. Like of course I'm gonna do that. And like last night I had that wild thing occur to me, and like it's not like it's a scar. It's not like I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, well that was weird. Could have been a dream, but it's just like, all right, well now my guard's up a little bit more and making sure. But that is the only thing I at first was a little worried about with the community. I was like, well, what happens if people want to do something because this, that, and the other? I'm just like, I've grown with these spirits. I've grown as a person. Like I feel like divinity is with me. So as long as I'm my authentic self, I think that's a word. Maybe everyone coming up, but as long as I'm doing that, then I'm fine. Everything's fine and everything's laid out in front of us. But it's about getting rid of those blockages and unlocking that stuff. And you're on. You already know what the truth is, and now you're on your path to be able to have that full radiance of light for that whole picture and that blockage gone. And that in and of itself is an incredible journey, man. Like absolutely.
Are you gonna try that the blockage thing?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. I'm not sure what for.
Just sit down and write it out and see what comes up.
Actually, that's really incredible. I'm totally gonna do that. I think.
Yeah. Just sit down and just write it down. See what you come up with.
I'll do that too. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna do that tomorrow. I did because I didn't do anything for I can't even say what it is, man. Waburbishnot. I was going to, but I was so tired and I had to work the next day, and I was like, I'm still gonna work with you for the rest of the year. Here we go. There's my intention right there. And then the week before, I was just out in the woods, and that was a whole wild experience. Hearing all the animals, like hearing things bark, hearing things howl in all sorts of different directions is wild, man.
Nature's good. Nature's good.
It's beautiful. It's like it's a super grounding, man. It really is. It's so once you're out there and you don't have a screen in front of you, you're like, wow, like this is actually amazing. This is grounding.
Yeah, I like being out there. Get on my bike and just ride. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Now, do you got a motorbike or are you talking bicycle?
Mountain bike, and I got a park about a mile from it.
Okay. Well, damn. See that? Yeah, get that wind in the hair. I mean, you got hair. I'm over here. Oh, I've been bald since I've been 24.
It's going away, so.
Well, I worked with Belial. That's where my hair went because I kept worrying about how my hair was all the time, and then he was like, "Dude, get rid of your fucking hair. Like, if you're gonna look in the mirror and say, is my hair okay? Then you need to get rid of your hair because you're literally being a little bitch about your hair." And I was like, God dang, dude, like, that's the funnest.
You gotta shave your head, and that's just as bad.
Hey, it's actually not too shabby, dude. I actually did it right before I got on here, and it only takes about 20 minutes.
How do you get the back of it?
Dude, it's all feeling, man. It's literally, use the electric, go through it all like that, and you get in the shower, come out, and do the shaving. Just bam, bam, bam. Now, the first, 3 times suck, because you're like, what the hell? And then I remember, like, hey, guys, how you doing? Dude, you have patches all over your head. Oh, uh-oh, yeah, here we go. But I eventually, I just got a feel of it, and then I was like, well, damn, my head actually has a good shape to it, so I'll just keep doing it. Plus...
Do you like yourself bald?
What's that?
Do you like that you're bald?
It's
very clean.
Yeah, it definitely is clean. The thing is I like it a lot now, but I hated it at first. Because I was like, dude, I want longer hair because I used to have really thick hair. But I kept asking the people to keep thinning it. I wore a hat all the time and I kept dyeing my hair black. So I burned out my hair, yeah. Because I had really, like, thick blonde hair. Like, really thick. And then I just kept dyeing it black, black, black. Because I was like, yeah, I'm edgy, everyone. Don't mess with me. And then by the time I hit 21, I had black hair, a red face, me and a tomato, the blood pressure medicine, and
Yeah.
I've had to begin. But I mean, that's crazy. Like one of my definitely like a blockage was like my addiction, and not to say like I'm, I like to have a good time here and there. I like getting trippy. I definitely love the all natural stuff, man. That really makes you tap in, but yeah, once I start working with beings and stuff, like I start realizing my appearance started changing from like my hair to my face, all that to my internal. So I feel like going through all this spiritual work has made me bald, like, and I'm okay with it. I'm totally cool with it. Like, it's a part of the transformation. It's a part of the one of the things when I start shaving my head was any small attachments that would get on me throughout the week when I would shave was me letting go of that during the week. So I use it as a wonderful way of cleansing myself of a lot of that. And, I just feel like when you have like something, like even when you get a plate of food and you do a prayer over it where you're like, thank you so much, animal, for like all the blessings for your life and that this can help nourish my body. And I thank the divine for letting this come to me. Like, just thanking your food or whatever it is just changes up its chemistry. It changes up the chemistry in you. And like, I won't call it morning prayer, but let's just for the sake of it, morning intention. After I'm meditating, I state my intentions for the day. Doing that at the start of the day is a game changer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just as we clean up like these vessels, and so we can like really be tapped in, that's when we're able to rock and roll forward. And now you got me hyped for tomorrow to use that blockage thing, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna play. Like, I'm hyped now.
Yeah, I think you'll like that.
We're gonna unlock. We're actually gonna be cocooned up, and then we're gonna break out the cocoon with some fucking wings out here, dude.
Wow. I got a lot of things I need to work on. A lot.
Hey, the hardest step's the first one, man. Honestly, because as soon as you start going, you're going, and you're already going, dude. Like, you're already in search of answers and doing all these things. Like, it's right there in front of you, and you're doing it. And, like, that's what it's all about. Like, even for myself, like, some days I'm like, damn, am I really doing anything? Like, come on now. And then it's just like, oh, shut the hell up. Like, I already have momentum. Things have already been happening, and I know that I have a calling to do it. So it's my divine mission to do it, you know, and it's all about that, man. Did you have any more questions you ask?
Huh?
Cause dude, we already been on here for an hour, and I can't even believe it.
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. No, don't even. I was gonna be like, man, if it's an hour and a half, I don't care. I'm blown away. Like, I'm really blown away, and like, Kiefer, having you on here, man. Like, I really appreciate you coming on and like asking questions.
This was good.
Good, man. I'm full of appreciation for you coming on here, man, and it's helped me too. Like, I'm excited to do the blockage thing. In fact, maybe a month from now, if you want to come back on, and then we could talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's definitely talk about
how that worked for you.
Dude, that's gonna be great. I can't wait to hear it with you, dude. Like, dude, that's epic. Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's do that in about a month from now. And yeah, if you have any more questions or anything like that, be sure, man. I'm always there, and you can always just ask me DM or anything like that. But yeah, man. Sure, dude, thank you so much for coming on, Kiefer. Like, this is awesome, dude.
I had a great time.
Yeah, heck yeah. And let's just keep pushing forward and take care of business, dude. Like, let's unlock. Let's have wings.
Sounds great.
Awesome, brother. Well, let me end this